Maybe. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Drop-In Morning Show with the Teach Better team. Brad and I are here to kick off your Friday. It is Friday, March 11th, and we are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. In addition, of course, to also this becoming an episode on Teach Better Talk podcast. Wherever you're listening from, we really appreciate you. If you are live with us currently, please feel free to send your good morning comments and get us ready as we all head into a really wonderful Friday ahead of us. Brad and I are so excited to recap, obviously, what's been going on this week, discuss that topic of refreshing our technology use. We also are going to dive into, of course, the good news articles. We have some wacky holidays. And in case you weren't aware, Brad and I have some really good details for you about an upcoming birthday party that we are spilling the beans today on the show, so you can get started preparing, getting your cake, making sure you have the right amount of candles, because we have a party coming at you. So those details will be coming here in just a little bit. How about we start with filling up your coffee, and we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Brad Hughes, how you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rae Hughart. I'm doing really well. Thank you. Happy Friday to you. We've got lots to celebrate, lots to look forward to today on our edition of the Friday DDI. Looking forward to getting into it with you.
It's going to be so good. And we have not been live together for like 2 weeks. So, Brad, I've been counting down the days till today so we can catch up, reveal these birthday details that we have for our community this morning, and, of course, get into recapping the topic. But you last week going live with Dave was so funny. So I was a little jealous, and I appreciate you choosing to go live with me this morning.
It's not a choice. It's part of my contract, Ms. Hughart, and you and I have a steady Friday morning daily drop-in date. It was a pleasure to go live with Dr. Dave last Friday, but of course, I mean, you're the one and only for me on the Friday morning, so I'm glad to reconnect.
Oh, it's so fun. I was very appreciative that Dave was able to step in when I was working with a middle school last week, but very cool to be recapping with you. How was your week? How have you been? Happy March.
Thank you. Happy March to you. It's been a good week. It's been a full week as we lead into spring break here in Ontario. Our elementary schools, secondary schools are heading into their spring break week beginning on Monday. So everyone is very much looking forward to, time to reconnect with the people and the places and the things that mean the most to them. And I'm looking forward to the same. So looking forward to a great Friday. It's been a great week in anticipation of spring break. Lots of excitement, lots of good things happening. Things going well with you? Everything great in the Chicagoland area?
Everything is good. It's so interesting to me that spring break times really range, right? So in the US, colleges are either finishing up their spring break or about to take their spring break, but most public schools don't take it till like the end of March, the beginning of April. You guys, again, are very early in March. I just think it's so interesting that spring break is like a 6-week phase that people either are entering into or getting out of. It's so funny.
I think one of the risky things here in Ontario and maybe other parts is that we call it spring break, but snow can creep up on you at any time in March, April, and often early May. And so we're just going to call it a much needed pause in our school activities to refresh and then to restore some lost energy, finish the year strong. And that's what it's all about.
I will laugh at that, Brad, because last week it was gorgeous in Chicago. Obviously, I live in the suburbs outside of Chicago currently, and we had like a 70-degree day last week, and it was beautiful. And then it did get colder throughout the week, but we've been on the up and up. We've been enjoying it. I actually went outside yesterday and ran an errand without even grabbing a coat. Yes, it was a little chilly, but I'm embracing the cold. I went outside today. We probably got 4 inches of snow last night.
We had snow last night too, Rae. Everything's a winter wonderland again. And it's part of I guess, the magic, the mystery, and maybe some of the frustration of shifting from winter to spring in the Northern Hemisphere anyway. It's just, it's indicating that things are changing, and we just have to continue to roll with the changes until we steady out and smooth into some fair weather again.
Well, regardless of where you're listening from, friends, we wish you a wonderful Friday. Please be safe with the weather. And if
Mhm.
you're in a state or a location in the world where you are enjoying some heat, some sun, if you're lacking snow, just know that we're very jealous of you. I had a Zoom call yesterday with an educator in the evening who was in Texas, a small town in Texas. She was the only science teacher in her whole high school building. Like, that's how small this community was. She said her
Mhm.
classes ranged from 9 to 12 students tops. And she had this like really incredible philosophy on the impact she was able to make there. I love chatting with her, but she was talking about how she definitely does not miss the snow. She's going to stick with her Texas weather.
The community in which we serve makes all the difference. I had the opportunity yesterday, as I sometimes do, just to stand by a second floor window and just to watch the action out on the yards. At that time, we had kids in first to third grade out on the yards interacting with the adults and teachers that were providing supervision. And I just got a warm feeling of gratitude and deep respect for the adults in my building, just watching them interact with kids who were having a great time. We had a kid who took a tumble, and I saw a teacher respond with care. And I just had an opportunity to reflect on, this place works because of the incredible adults and the care that they pour into their work, for several hours each and every day. And I know that caring continues, with thought, reflection, planning, and sometimes some heartache about what kids and families are going through. It can be a 24-hour enterprise if we allow it to be. So huge gratitude to all of our staff members for the care that they pour into their kids every day.
Yes, I love it. Good morning to everyone here this morning. Happy Friday. We have some big birthday news that we are announcing here in just a little bit. So as you are slowly getting ready for your day, maybe you pulled us up on YouTube on your smart television this morning, or you're just listening over on your phone as you're making your coffee. We appreciate that you're here. Good morning, and get excited for some birthday news. In addition to all the other stuff we always do here, Brad, we always have a pretty good time on Friday.
We always have some shenanigans thrown in, as part of the secret sauce of the daily drop in and of the Teach Better team, right? Fun, frivolity, fantastic news, a little bit of an uplift. Get your day kickstarted here, and we hope that everyone leaves feeling glad they tuned in.
I love it. We're going to get into some good stuff. Before we get into too much, do you have a big day ahead of you, Brad? Any fun weekend plans that you've gone on?
We are having a staycation at home this coming week, Ray, and we're having a themed day every day. We are matching food and drink to Disney movies, and we're kicking off tonight with Turning Red, the Disney Pixar animated film set in Toronto, Canada, and we're going to have a Korean dinner takeout tonight. So we're going to have a fun Disney themed week. Normally, we would take a Disney vacation over spring break, but we're not quite ready to travel to Florida yet. We're hoping for next year as things settle down. But that's what we have in store for this weekend, and lots of time to reflect, relax, reconnect.
Brad, I want to be a part of your family. That sounds like a great idea. Do you mind if our Teach Better community heads over to your home this weekend and we're just going to spend a little vacation with you?
I don't mind at all. I mean, there's ample space in the front or backyard. Just going to have to check with our local authorities and bylaw to make sure that the party tent that I set up is going to be okay. I think a Sleeping Beauty bouncy castle also would be really an good opportunity there.
I love it. No, it's so good. Man, I can't top that. I was just going to go out to dinner tonight, but I think you win. Maybe I'm heading to Toronto instead.
All credit to my wife Jennifer, who is the mastermind for both for vacation planning and for staycation planning. And we've talked together about how important it is to have things to look forward to, especially when we're tired out and things just kind of appear to be kind of stuck in a rut. So that's part of her that's part of her energy is to make those plans for the family, and I'm super grateful.
So good. So our show today has a few typical things in it. We also have a big surprise that we want to reveal to our community as they prepare for a big birthday here coming up. So as we look at this, Brad, I think we typically would start with our happy feed moment of gratitude around this time. And then should we get into our good news and maybe release the birthday plans closer to the end of our good news article?
I
Is
think
that okay?
I think that sounds like a fantastic plan.
Perfect. So it sounds like it's time for Happy Feed. Brad, tell us a little bit about what Happy Feed is.
It's an app that we were introduced to by a guest about 3 weeks ago. that allows us to capture on a regular basis and also on a prompted basis moments of gratitude. So it's an opportunity for an individual or even groups or pods to interact with the great moments in their day. And then, Rae, through the app, you have an opportunity to look back on those moments of gratitude over time, which is pretty impactful.
Yeah, if any of you are listening and you want to participate in this moment of gratitude, either by also using the free Happy Feed app, or we'd love just to see what you're grateful for in the comments as we brainstorm what we're going to use to submit today. So if you are grateful for something this morning, take a moment, please share it with us. We would love to learn more about you as obviously a Teach Better family member, but also take in and celebrate your moments of gratitude as well. Brad, the hint today is worth a read. I do love these hints, although I know sometimes I read them and I go a completely different direction. But the hint today says, what about the puppy you saw on your commute to work? ? So kind of picking on the fact that we can appreciate some cute dogs in the world. I will say, Brad, my 2 dogs are some sort of like poodle mixes. They're from shelters. Who knows what they are? But they do like need haircuts. Otherwise, they just grow their hair so long. It gets very matted. Yeah. So I took them in yesterday to get a haircut. And now they look like large rats, just to be clear. Like the haircuts, they always look so funny after that.
Likewise, we had our Bichon Poodle in for grooming about a week ago. Much needed. Got rid of the mats and the tangles and all of the accumulated dirt of Ontario winter. But yeah, looks a little scrawny. Charlie is a little scrawny when he comes back, so we got to put him in the coat when he goes out for a walk. And I mean, I think I'm grateful just right now, reflecting on the I guess the opportunity that we have to interact lovingly with pets and also lovingly with the people that help us look after them. It is quite a privileged position and a privileged opportunity to have the I guess the financial means to host a pet in our home, as well as to pay for and to connect with people like groomers and veterinarians. And so it's a great opportunity and much appreciated.
And I appreciate that reminder. I need to call my veterinarian today. That's on my to-do list. Don't you hate that when you have a phone call and you're like, at some point today, can't forget, I got to make this phone call. I need to write it down like 17 places so I can make sure I don't forget. For those of you, this is your reminder. If you need rabies shots, it happens once a year, I think. That's what's on my docket for today. Got to make a good phone call. So shout out to all of our veterinarians. I love that. That's so powerful.
If I remember right, Rae, if I remember right, your favorite veterinarian is in Scotland. And so I've got a bold recommendation is to switch veterinarians to Scotland and treat yourself to a Scottish trip every year.
Brad, we just got some big news on my sister, actually. You're right. My sister is a veterinarian. She's in Glasgow, Scotland. She's finishing up her doctorate degree. And she had officially, as of January, passed all of her boards. She just needs to now graduate from her schooling, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, the tests that are required for so many of those in our medical field are just such, incredible accomplishments when you're able to pass your boards. And of course in other careers as well. But she officially found out on Monday morning. I was eagerly sitting by my phone waiting. They are officially ending their time in Scotland. They've enjoyed it for the last 5 years. Oh. It's been an incredible opportunity. And in this June, they are moving to San Diego, which means they're coming back to the States, which I am shocked. So I cannot wait to not only enjoy one last Scottish trip to celebrate her graduation, but apparently we're going to be booking a trip to San Diego.
That sounds like a terrific 1-2 team up there. Just opportunity to reconnect and to reminisce in Scotland. And then San Diego, what a beautiful part of the country. And always that warmth, that sunshine, the sand, the ocean, always welcome.
I've never been. So if anybody in our community lives in San Diego or has recommendations for San Diego, I'd love to book a trip. I don't know how quick I'm going to make it out there because they're moving in June. I have a Scotland trip planned for May, which is going to be its own hurdle. But at some point within the next 12 months, I'd love to allow them to get settled into their new space and go visit the fun. So if any of you are looking for a San Diego trip, sign me up. I'll just attach on to your vacation. It'll be wonderful.
That's wonderful. And good morning to our guests. Jillian is here. Welcome, Jillian. Wonderful to reconnect and wonderful to have an opportunity to reflect here with Rae on just the joy of family. And the opportunities, Rae, to look forward to stuff, looking forward to travel, looking forward to reconnecting with your sister and family, and looking forward to new adventures for them in San Diego. That's awesome news.
So good. Speaking of good news, let's head into our good news segment where we not only will be celebrating holidays and articles, but let's also share all the details of the big birthday bash coming soon to our community. So we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. This is our time where we get to have that glorious debate of if we're going to celebrate holidays or the news article first. But stick around with us because we are going to divulge all the details of the big birthday bash coming to our community. If you are listening currently live with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or LinkedIn, we would so love and appreciate if you could take a moment to share this feed, not only so we can reach more incredible guests, more incredible members of our Teach Better community, but also so that everybody has all the information possible of the big birthday celebration we'll be having here in just a few weeks and sharing the details on here in just a few minutes. So if you wouldn't mind clicking that share button, letting your friends and family know that they should be tuning in for the big news, that would be so appreciated. Of course, if you're listening to this after the fact, you can still take a screenshot and share it as well. We really appreciate being able to reach our wider community here for our daily drop-in morning show. Brad, here's the big debate every morning. Which we going for?
Rae, I think we're going to set the debate aside and just start with the good news, followed by the holidays and celebrations. What do you think?
I love it. You know, that's my favorite combo. Let's do it.
Rae, I want to give a shout out to Sam Bentley, Sam's Sustainable Living account on Instagram. Rae, it was you that shared this account with me, and Sam is bringing an incredible story about a company in Kenya who are turning washed up flip-flops that wash up on the beach into incredible sculptures and works of art. They're called Ocean Sole, Sole, and they are a company that takes and manufactures sculptures and other items, incredible multicolored sculptures, shaving the foam into shapes of Kenyan animals and other objects. Some of these sculptures are life-size, Rae, and they could be in your home or welcome your guests in your foyer, or they look like museum quality pieces, but an incredible opportunity to repurpose and to upcycle ocean waste, and also benefits the artists and their families themselves. So check out Ocean Sole, and I'll make sure that I put that link in our comments. And thank you to Sam, Sustainable Living account on Instagram, a constant source of good news and definitely worth a follow.
I loved when you shared this article with me earlier this week, Brad. The little video that Sam puts together to share his good news is really eye-catching. It's so easy to share it with students as well. What I love about these sculptures, not only the variety of size and colors, but if they're made out of flip-flops, I'm sure they're quite dense, but they're relatively soft looking, which is kind of nice. I feel like this is something that, you know, you could put in your classroom display. And then as you're displaying it in your classroom, if a student asks a question, then you have a really wonderful story, an inspiring story to be able to share. I always loved filling my own personal classroom with not only useful tools for learning, but also useful memories that sparked really good conversation. My immediate thought was, oh my gosh, I need this in my classroom.
Those are the things that really spark that imagination and curiosity for our students. It's a literal object lesson in creative thinking and in repurposing something that is a problem into a gift. It's really just looking for that silver lining, looking at the opportunity, and there are many benefits to that kind of approach to thinking. Making your way around, like you earlier said, just noticing and wondering about the puppy that you see on your walk. It's just those small moments, and you can bring kids together around these opportunities and these literal objects to inspire creativity and foster connection and community in your classroom.
You know, Brad, we've also had some good dialogue, you and I personally, on the setup of our live every single morning, kind of what is around us, what does the coloring look like? Maybe we need to look into getting one of these little sculptures and having them in the background of one of our setups here. I think that could be a good discussion point.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I also remember on a daily drop-in, it might have been around the holiday time, you had or have a special sculpture friend. I think it was a penguin.
I do.
In your life there.
Very large sculpture of a penguin in my office. Yes.
Well, I think maybe a large Kenyan animal to kind of counter sort of the Arctic vibe of the penguin might be just super appropriate for your office or living space there.
You know what? I don't know how much I can fit in this one little frame that I have here in the morning, but we'll try. Maybe I'll get another table here. We'll have some big sculptures of animals. I'll just be squished in the middle. We'll see how we can work that out.
Well, what not only are these sculptures incredibly captivating, they're multicolored. Just like you said, they're made of foam, so they will be soft to the touch, and so they would invite just kind of interacting with them, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking at a photo now of huge giraffe, elephant, and you could everything from small, medium, extra large, large. I've got rhinos and bees and all kinds of opportunities. And then the bottom line is the cycle of conservation. It's reminding kids and adults too of the power of thinking creatively to improve the world and to sustain that improvement. And I wish Ocean Soul a long life and good business of making that sustainability come true.
If you're just tuning in this morning, because we've seen a very large uptick over the last few minutes here on the show, good morning. Brad is now investing in a company outside of Kenya, and we encourage you all to go check it out.
Yeah,
Brad,
it was my sole. Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say it was my sole purpose for being here today, Rae.
See, there we go. The puns, it's perfect. Brad, we also have some good news holidays as well. So funny holidays. Some of them are quite serious, but of course, some of them also give us a little chuckle. I don't know if this is common where you are, Brad, or in your space, but it is National Promposal Day, which is typically a funny tradition that happens at the high school level where people have very elaborate prom requests that begin. To me, this seems a little early because prom typically is at the end of April, early May. But hey, if you're trying to solidify your date 2 months early, let's get those promposals going. Have you seen those before, Brad?
I sure have, Rae, and I think for young people, all of the preparation that goes into getting ready for prom, and so I think the more notice they have, and the more they can celebrate and confirm that promposal and move forward, I think the more time, the better.
Well, we kind of have our own promposal happening here in just a few minutes as we share some details of a big birthday bash we're having at the end of the month. So stick with us. But I will say maybe this holiday is signifying a reminder for our high school students that they are going to be planning soon their promposal. Maybe this is the day it all kicks off. So I love it. It is also 311 Day. It says, rest assured that all your non-emergency services and requirements will be met. So being aware, making yourself aware and those in your community aware of those non-emergency numbers if you ever need them, regardless of your community. And it might change based on your community. Making sure you know what those numbers are is a very important reminder for this morning. Mm-hmm. It's also National Middle Name Pride Day. Do you have a middle name, Brad?
I do. It's James, named after my dad. And how about you? Do you have a middle name?
I do, but did you know that I also have my dad's name is James. So we have fathers with the same names. My middle name is Ann. So I am Rae Ann. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ann with James. An E?
No Ann with an E. No, it's just A-N-N. Yeah, I wish. An E would make it cooler, don't you think?
Well, I think you could absolutely add as many E's as you want. You can just always add extra vowels. Extra vowels are always welcome up here in Canada, Rae.
I love it this morning as we're getting started, as you're warming up in your day, celebrating some holidays. Tell us what your middle name is. Put it in the chat. We'd love to
good idea.
See your middle names. Oh, one says mine's Michelle. That's a great middle name. I love that name. Michelle's a great middle name. Mm-hmm. Super good. Let us know your middle name in the comments as we continue to head into, and then of course, celebrating the news of our birthday bash here coming in a minute. It's also National Funeral Director or Mortician Recognition Day, which is quite a tongue twister right there. I will say, we don't necessarily share our appreciation and love for those in that field, but it is so incredibly important and appreciative when you need those incredible people that help us through a very difficult time. So shout out to our funeral directors and morticians who support us in some very difficult times as they come our way.
100%, right?
Yeah, no, I love it. Did Jillian give us a middle name? I'm reading these comments. We have a lot of comments coming in. Yes, to my first. There you go. She added. There you go, Pat. I love that maiden name. Oh, I love when a middle name is a maiden name. That's a great one. I love these. Very cool. See. It's National Oatmeal Nut Waffles Day. Have you ever had an oatmeal nut waffle? I have not either,
I
but it can't
no.
be bad. It can't be bad. Are you a oatmeal nut waffle? Are you predicting that would be good? This one's covered in chocolate in the picture, Brad. I'm just saying.
Oh, with the chocolate. Yeah, I've kind of got an unofficial rule, Ray, that anything that has three or more ingredients, you kind of want to stay away from it. Like, or three or more flavors mixed together, like banana, berry, pineapple. That the kind of thing is there's just one too many flavors. So oatmeal nut, that's two. Add the chocolate, that would be okay.
Wow, I'm surprised that you said that. I have to tell you, the name oatmeal nut waffle doesn't sound good to me. The picture looks delicious. So I
Mhm.
think you might be swayed if you saw this picture. It's also World Plumbing Day and World DIY Day. So celebrating lots and lots of good things over there. Brad, I'm loving these fun facts from our community here, either
Yeah.
with their middle names or recognizing family members that are funeral directors. These are great ways to get our community engaged. Should we actually get into our birthday festivities here, our big announcement to also get our community engaged?
I think that will be highly engaging for our community, Ray. Lots to celebrate, and we want everyone to feel a part of recognizing an incredible birthday for the Teach Better team.
I know. So I'm going to share my screen here. If you're listening via audio and not able to see our screen, that's all right. We're going to do our very, very best to give you some details, but then we want to encourage you to all head to teachbetter.com/happy birthday. We are so excited to announce that we are kind of kicking off a big birthday happening March 24th for the Teach Better team. Brad and I are excited to expose you to some of the details here, but you got to go to this website to get the full effect. If you head to teachbetter.com/happy birthday, you're going to see a big celebration here. The Teach Better team is turning 7, and we want to make sure that all of us are getting together to celebrate the 7th birthday. So as you scroll through this list, you're going to see a lot of ways to get involved in our 7th birthday. And we specifically say our because while it is the Teach Better team's 7th birthday, we really consider that our birthday is all of our birthdays. So as you are getting into your March, if you're not usually used to celebrating a March birthday, congratulations. You now are informed that you have one. It's March 24th. We will all be celebrating here. We would really love to encourage you to head to teachbetter.com/happy birthday and choose to do these 5 or 6 ways to celebrate. The first one is to submit your birthday gift. We love sharing gifts with our communities when it is their birthday. And just like the Teach Better birthday, we'd love for you to share a gift with us by sharing a little tidbit, maybe a memory or information on how you got connected using Flipgrid. All you need to do is simply click this box here and you will be transported to a Flipgrid where we have a few little prompts to have you share a little bit with us. We would so appreciate you taking just 30 seconds to a few minutes to do this. We also have announced that we will be having a big birthday party. Brad, I know you love a big birthday party. On the 24th in the evening, we are going to be having a birthday party to celebrate. We'll be getting every single member we can of the Teach Better family together. It is a completely free virtual event. There'll be lots of games and giggles and some giveaways. So we definitely want to encourage you to RSVP to that virtual event. As you continue to scroll down, we also have an alarm we're going to encourage you to set. We have our owners joining us on the Daily Drop-In. Chad Urshowski, Jeff Gargis, and myself will be live on Daily Drop-In. I think for the first time of 3 of us together, sharing some memories of the last 7 years, maybe some shenanigans. Of course, we have some swag for those of you who are in dire need of some good birthday swag, including things like cupcakes and some simple designs. And then as you keep going, we will obviously be giving you some birthday prep checklists and everything in between. So Brad, I think we are going to have a ball celebrating the 7th birthday on March 24th. And we can't wait for all of you to join us in this birthday celebration. What are your initial thoughts?
Ray, huge shout out and thanks to our marketing team who've done the party planning. The party is ready to go. All we have to do is show up to this site, teachbetter.com/happy birthday, and dig into the festivities. This is an incredible party plan. I want to hire whoever made this to develop my next birthday bash, right?
I think it's going to be great. You know, there was some joking here. Seventh birthday, we really kind of wanted it to feel a little cheesy. Who doesn't love a good kid's seventh grade birthday? So between gifts, we're going to be encouraging everybody to go find a slice of cake on the 24th. We want you to invite your family and your friends to all join us together to play some games. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for us together on a Thursday evening to just kind of goof off as a family and celebrate that we are 7 years strong. Very, very fun.
Rae, what do you give the Teach Better team for its seventh birthday? I mean, what would the Teach Better team want to unwrap on a seventh birthday celebration?
You know, I will say those Flipgrid messages are going to be killer. Those Flipgrid messages have 4 or 5 different prompts for our community to share their voice and really tell us a few fun tidbits. I know a lot of you are headed to teachbetter.com/happy birthday. You have all the way until March 24th to do these items, but the Flipgrids are going to be something special. Some of them are testimonials, sharing about the impact maybe Teach Better has had on you. Some of them are funny stories. How'd you get connected to the Teach Better team? There's going to be a lot to celebrate here. I can't wait to watch those. Those will be incredible gifts for not only our internal team, but obviously our co-founders, Chad Rashowski and Jeff Gargis, who are really the ones celebrating the 7th birthday. But I'm thrilled that those two incredible educators let all of us come join the family over the last 7 years. It's really a blessing.
So true. And I want to give recognition to another Teach Better family member, Megan Wells, who's one of our Teach Better ambassadors, who I consider one of a few Teach Better historians who really has her finger on the pulse of who connected when and for what reason. And if you want to get any advice about developing your Flipgrid reflection, Megan Wells is the person to go to if you need to know exactly when, how, and when and how you got connected with the team. And Megan keeps those stories going. She keeps that history strong.
I love it. Brad, as we kind of transition out of our birthday message and into obviously the rest of the show, can you take a few minutes and tell us, I don't know that I know this for sure, how did you get connected to the team? Obviously now we're here together Friday, March 11th, celebrating that a birthday is coming up here on the 24th of 7 years. But I don't think you and I have been around for the full 7 years. How did you get connected?
Rae, I think it was in the spring of 2020, soon after school closures and the pandemic emerged, that I was looking for resources to inspire and support our staff members, my school staff members who had made a shift to remote learning. And one of my strongest memories was a conversation with Chad Ostrowski. I think it was a live where we were discussing the grid method, and I was asking questions as a school leader. How would I know the grid method is right for my educators' needs? How would I know, or where could I find out more to see if this could support that shift to remote learning? And I was just hooked. I started to attend the administrator mastermind on the Tuesdays when they were available, and tried to tune into as many different Teach Better live opportunities. And again, just found the community so authentic, so service oriented, and so committed to better. It was really inspiring, and it just really resonated with who I am and how I feel about learning and life in general. So spring 2020, one of the things I'm grateful for, in spite of the calamity of the pandemic, was beginning to get connected with the Teach Better team.
Isn't it amazing that that's about 2 years ago, and like how much the team has been positively influenced by you in just 2 years, right? Like you are now a enormous contributor to the Teach Better team in a multitude of ways. You're obviously a staple on the Daily Drop-In Morning Show. You add so much more than our community, I'm sure, is even aware of, to our internal team structure and the success of what we're able to do to serve teachers and students on a daily basis. I can't believe that it's only been 2 years to have you around, Brad. It's really interesting to me to reflect on the people that dramatically influence not only my own personal life, but I know the Teach Better community. And some of them have only been around for 6 months or 2 years or 4 years. We always joke that when we see comments of like the OGs of Teach Better that maybe have been around before we even were called the Teach Better team, because we had a name before that, and went through a rebranding. I think it was in 2018. So it's just amazing to me that over the last 7 years, our community has grown so much, and people have truly contributed so much to the journey that we've been on 7 years strong. It's so cool.
Truly appreciate those kind words as well as the opportunity to contribute. I mean, as an individual, but I know as team members, we're united in getting back as much as we put into the work with Teach Better. And my network of support has grown exponentially since becoming connected with Teach Better, and just the kindness and the service focus and the empathy and the support and the fun. Like it's all part of the recipe. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be here with you weekly, Rae, and to support the work of the team that I know, and Jeff Gargas and Chad Ostrowski are really intentional in reminding us as team members about the ripple effect of our work. And we never know where those ripples might end, but it is awesome to be among those that are throwing the initial pebbles in the pond.
I love it. No, shout out to Chad Ostrowski and Jeff Gargas, who founded the Teach Better team. And we are so thrilled to be celebrating with everyone in your community, whether this is your first day joining the family this morning as you're tuning in for Daily Drop-In, or maybe you've been around over the last 7 years, but we are thrilled to all be celebrating a March 24th birthday. Write this on your calendar. Every single year now, you officially have a birthday in late March. And we are so excited to have all of you share with us, not only hopefully with a bite into a cake, maybe blowing out a candle, but also in those ways that you can find out how to celebrate with us over at teachbetter.com/happy birthday. Like many of you, I actually learned about the Teach Better team via Twitter. So there are a lot of different ways that people have gotten connected, and we're thrilled to have you regardless. So over the next few weeks, if you have any questions on our big birthday bash or any questions on the history of the Teach Better team, we are excited to kind of reminisce, take the month to celebrate what the past 7 years have looked like, some of the ups and downs and big aha moments. But regardless of what questions you might be interested in that we can answer, we are thrilled to have you a part of our family. And we are so excited to learn about your individual stories as well of how this community has impacted you. And who knows what the next 7 years will look like, what the next 27 years will look like. I think we have a lot of options here. So, Brad, as we transition here into our brainstorm bank, of course, if anybody has questions on the Teach Better birthday bash happening on March 24th, any preparation or things that you want to get into, please feel free to put those in the comments. But ready to get into our theme this week?
Already looking forward to it, Rae. Thanks.
Here we go. Good morning, everyone. We have had a lot we have shared so far. 40 minutes in, we're running late because we had big news we just shared about the Teach Better birthday bash. Head over to teachbetter.com/happy birthday to see the 6 ways to get involved in the birthday we all will be celebrating on the 24th. Every single person in our community deserves something special on the 24th as we celebrate our 7th birthday. Brad, we've had a theme this week about a tech refresh. What have been your thoughts learning and reflecting about our technology usage this week?
The biggest takeaway for me, Rae, was the reminder that it's not necessarily the technology; it's how the humans interact with it and how we come together around maybe a spark of interest using a tech tool or a website or some kind of a device to entice kids into learning. But it's also the power of interacting with those tools that not only is value added for an individual interacting with a tech, but the power to bring a community together, influenced by and interacting with technology. And all of our guests really hit home runs on that, as far as I'm concerned, is reminding people that it's not necessarily what you have, it's how you use it and how you interact with it.
Well, Brad, as an elementary principal yourself, I'm confident that you serve in many different roles. One of which is to be an instructional support for all of your educators that work with you. How do you find yourself coaching or supporting educators that are struggling with their technology use? Do you provide that sort of feedback on a monthly basis to people as it comes up in dialogue?
Absolutely. And it really is the focus of ongoing conversations, Rae, maybe even each and every day, making sure that people have access to what they need to motivate, inspire, and instruct, making sure that we have people and places and processes in place to tackle any troubleshooting that comes along. But the main power is in the conversations between educators who are leveraging, both hardware, software, peripherals, robotics, and tons of audiovisual opportunities, leveraging it to increase opportunities for kids to engage with the curriculum, to engage with the content. So, in that, I mean, those conversations are really focused not only on how to leverage what we have in our inventory, but how to leverage it instructionally, to make sure that it's meaningful to kids, and that problem solving, that troubleshooting, and that mutual professional support happens every day.
I know we're going to recap the week here in just a bit, and we're running behind, but I did want to spend an intentional moment here, Brad, asking you what your biggest suggestion was for this tech refresh theme that we've had this week. Obviously, you and I have the I was going to say the gift. I don't know that it's a gift to look at these weekly themes, and based on our guests, really ensure that we are serving our community in the best way possible by choosing themes that are relevant. I know that a tech, kind of like a pulse on how we're using technology was a really good topic for this week. We had some incredible insights shared from our guests, but from your own perspective, if you had one major takeaway from this week, what would it be for our community?
It's the power of technology that we have available to bring people together, to build community. I think that sometimes when we consider technology, we think of things that may be very dispassionate, like chips or pixels or processes or coding, and what really hit home for me, Ray, this week was that it's all centered around interacting with the humans in the community, and just as we're interacting today through StreamYard, through internet technology, there's huge potential for tech to be a unifier, to be something around which kids come together to solve problems, to think creatively, to innovate, to come up with solutions that have never ever been accomplished before. And as technology continues to grow, and as our access, hopefully in schools, to the technology that's so engaging to kids continues to grow, I think the possibilities are quite limitless. But again, it all comes back not to what device you have in your hand or what website or app you're accessing, but how we as educators are facilitating great connection through that technology.
Such a valuable takeaway. I so appreciate you sharing all that, Brad. I'm excited to get into recapping this week because in addition to what you've been able to share this morning, there was a lot of reflection and dialogue that went around with this topic this week. And we're excited to make sure that in case you missed it, you know when to go back and what to go back to listen to. So we'll be right back. All right, as we get into our favorite segment, just simply because of that tune, we are recapping our week. Brad, I really appreciate you being able to share your insights on this topic. It was kind of nice this week to hear a multitude of perspectives on how to refresh and reflect on our technology usage in the classroom, kind of where we see ourselves in a few months based on where we were just a few years ago, even as many of us kind of altered or changed our technology use and how we've developed as educators. Obviously, Monday morning, I was live with Jeff Gargis, kind of goofed off a little bit, to be honest, but it was a really fun opportunity to talk shop. And of course, we were able to highlight so many different things. But on Tuesday, I feel like that's where the conversation really went and got us started. Ashley was with us live, and she was a tech coach and had a lot of insight to share on how she's able to coach and support educators through their time working, to use technology in a meaningful way.
I loved the discussion about the red line under the misspelled word. And so that red line could just sit there, but not knowing what we're supposed to do with it. That's the role of the educator, is to encourage and to help peel back the layers on what the technology is telling us, to let kids know how they can be supported through the technology use, and just the importance of good moderation and seeking to understand and being curious rather than sort of transmitting knowledge through the technology. It's facilitating, how do I use this effectively to improve outcomes for myself and for others.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Brad. That was an analogy that she shared with us very early on in that Tuesday morning show that really did stick with me. I'd never heard it explained that way. So I really appreciate her insight there. And for those of you who are interested, tune back into our Tuesday show if you missed it. That was a really, really interesting perspective on technology use. On Wednesday, we had Erin Menu with us, who actually is an educator that joined us very frequently in the comments on the show. And she had just published a new book as well that we were able to highlight. Erin was not only able to share her insight on technology, but her insight in the younger grade levels. She really has a passion for younger grade levels, which I know you share with her, Brad, on how we can support our young learners as well.
I sure do. And I love Erin's take on foundational learning as a prerequisite to digging deeper. And her call to action is slow down now to go fast later. I've been talking with Erin and talking with other Teach Better community members about the role for technology in early learning to support those foundational skills. And I'm really curious about digging deeper into that with Erin and with other guests, and just aligning the needs of our youngest learners with the technology that's available. Great conversation.
If you missed yesterday's show, I was able to interview Danae, and I just thought Danae was on fire with her insights. I loved having her share so much. She too had a really interesting background with technology, and she was all about sharing ideas of how to support different educators in different roles of their educational journey. I thought Danae was just so awesome, and we encourage you all to follow all of these guests and educators on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you like to build your PLN, because they surely had a lot to share.
I just wanted to say what a wonderful energy Danae brought to the conversation, and well worth a follow, well worth that perspective. And it's amazing. I'd love to dig deeper with you and with others in the future about all of the different skills and roles that brought us to education. All of them, sort of like all of the different tools in a Swiss Army knife really make us unique in what we do. And there are kids everywhere in every community. It really is a privilege to bring all of that experience to light for the benefit of kids. And Danae was certainly a sparkling personality in that conversation.
So good. Next week, Brad, we have a theme that is going to just infiltrate all areas of Teach Better. Are you ready to hear about this theme?
Already
on the Daily Drop-In and in many other places on the team next week, we are celebrating the fact that we want you to really feel comfortable and feel empowered to share your voice. We're going to be focusing on how to support you in presenting at a conference, at an event, and we're going to be tying that theme into a brand new course that will be coming out to our Teach Better Academy. And as many of you know, the Teach Better Conference is in October. Proposals are open. You can submit your session to share your idea at the Teach Better Conference in October. Proposals have been open since the March month began. It will be open all the way through April. Our goal next week is to not only encourage you to submit a proposal, but really give you some tips and tricks on how to be successful in submitting a proposal, not only to the Teach Better Conference, but to any conference anywhere where you will be asked to share your voice, your insight, your passions. Our course coming out in the Academy will be coming out on Wednesday morning. And it's actually a really fun thing to go through with Andrea and I. We've brought in lots of familiar faces from our speakers network. Brad, you yourself have a section in that module. And we are going to be highlighting some of our key suggestions. If you want to speak at any conference, what can you do to get prepared beforehand? And how can we support you in feeling comfortable applying to be a speaker? So whether you choose to be involved in Teach Better Conference or some other event, it is your time to share your voice. And we're excited to focus on that next week in a multitude of ways. It should be a really good time.
Rae, I spoke recently on the podcast to Tim Stevenson, high school educator, astronomy teacher in British Columbia. And in an interview, he said that all of us have a voice, but many of us, for many reasons, are inhibited to use it. It was 2 years ago, this last August, that podcaster Dana Goodyear reached out to me and said, "Hey, Brad, you've got a story to tell. How about you be a guest on my podcast?" Up to that point, no one had ever sort of given me that tap on the shoulder that, hey, you've got a voice and you've got a story to tell. What I would say alongside of our week coming up, Rae, is if you work with someone who has something special to offer, or is doing something novel, unique, inspiring, or just someone that's a good human being who is connecting with kids in wonderful ways, give them that tap and say, hey, you've got a voice. How can I help you leverage that voice to make things better for other educators, just like you have for me? So let's make that part of our discussion too, Rae, is how to encourage others to use their voice and to give them the encouragement to access all of the great things that we're talking about to prepare them for that conference.
And what I love about that, Brad, is that it's a win-win, right? It's a win-win. If you go up to somebody who you admire, who's been a mentor, who shared insight with you that you feel like really should be amplified, you suggesting that they choose to share their voice to a wider audience or choose to present at a conference is, first of all, an enormous compliment to them, right? It's so wonderful to have somebody take the time to come up to you and share their appreciation. That is so, so, so wonderful and such a win. And then if they take it upon themselves to hear that success and then choose to present at a conference, that's now another win. So worst case scenario, you are giving someone a feel good as to encourage them to get a part of speaking at a conference. But then, of course, if they choose to do that, it just then further amplifies the work that they're doing. So lots to celebrate here, Brad. I'm very excited for all this.
Rae, reminds me of our conversation earlier about the ripples. You never know where they may end. And just planting that seed with someone can be so essential. You never know where that seed may grow or flourish. It may be several years later, but believe me, people remember and hold on to kind words, especially at stressful times like this. They're so desperately needed. And talk about win-win. We've got this incredible Teach Better conference coming up in October, and along with it, it's no mystery. We want and need great educational voices to be in the mix, and so we're providing everyone with the tools to make it happen. Whether it's for the Teach Better conference or, like you said, Rae, for any other conference, it's about growing the capacity of everyone to share their voice, because really, together we are better.
Such a powerful note that we will end on this morning as we wrap up our daily drop-in morning show. We so appreciate that you are here. We so appreciate you tuning in. And of course, we would love to hear from you. So take a screenshot if you are listening, tag Brad and I, tag the team. We always love to hear from those of you who choose to listen live with us, or if you're choosing to listen after the fact on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or LinkedIn. And then, of course, also on Teach Better Talk podcast. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for sharing your voice with us. But then we're so excited to continue to amplify the voices of others as well through so many different means. And please, please, please take some time today or this weekend to visit teachbetter.com/happy birthday to celebrate with us. And we will see you Monday morning as we announce 2 more featured speakers for the Teach Better conference. We cannot wait to continue to highlight some of the many faces that will be joining that event in October. So thank you so much, friends. Brad, it was wonderful seeing you, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks, Rae.